Hi ladies, in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about why pretty is a problem for some people and why they want to humble you. In other words, they are more comfortable when you downplay your beauty. When I was 22 years old, I was involved in a situation that was pretty traumatic. The experience changed many things in my life. During that time, mind you, I'm a 22-year-old college student. One of my friends' mothers made a comment to me that the experience was to humble me. I was literally confused by this comment. You're saying being involved in a car accident was to humble me. I asked myself, what does she mean? Because though I knew I was pretty because of how people reacted to me, I'd actually been someone who focused on school. So my personality was unproblematic. I wasn't even the type of girl who wore makeup in high school to draw more attention to myself. I was more of the quiet type who got along with people. So here's this grown woman telling me that the experience happened to humble me. And I've come to realize that messages like this, especially when you can't fully understand where it's coming from, or maybe articulate how you feel about the negativity of the situation, has an effect. And though it was never said, I believe this comment had to do with how I looked, because I didn't interact with this woman much, or even her daughter, though we had been classmates all through elementary school. When you have a privilege, including pretty privilege, there will be people who want you to be more humble. Meanwhile, you can't help triggering them by just being you. There's other incidents that have happened, for example, thinking I'm friends with someone, but not being invited to a wedding that all of our other friends are going to. Or a male classmate telling me once, you think you're all that when you're not even that, because I rejected him. And what many of us pretty girls don't realize is that we internalize incidents like this. And instead of using pretty privilege to our fullest or our full benefit, we actually find ways to minimize or downplay ourselves so that we can fit in. We want our female friends to be comfortable with us when their boyfriends show up. Or we don't want to be objectified, so we may dress a certain way. Or we may downplay some positive aspects of our personality because, again, we want to fit in. Does any of this sound familiar to you? You don't wear makeup, or you wear less makeup. You might not color your hair a certain shade because it'll turn more heads. Or you don't put much effort into your clothing because that'll draw more attention. Or you simply dim some aspects of your personality, such as you're a talker, but you choose to remain quiet in certain rooms. Pretty privilege could also be what makes you attractive. Maybe you have a great body or a talent that draws people in and you look better to them. I think that personality or personal charm can really impact how attractive you are to others. And here's the reason I've given these examples. It's because we don't realize, at least I didn't until much later, that choosing to dim your light to make others comfortable actually dilutes your privilege because you're not fully utilizing it. This goes for the beautiful women we see with dusty boyfriends and husbands who are working hard, sometimes harder than he is. This goes for the woman with the great body who gives men who don't value her access. And it goes broader for us women. You may be pretty, talented, smart, but you wanting to be humble about any of the above will have you being in situations like accepting a relationship with someone when you can do better. All because you're not maximizing the privilege that you have. Privileges must be used if it's going to be any benefit to you. And again, pretty is a problem when someone wants to humble you. But here's the thing. First, the person who sees your pretty privilege wouldn't mind trading places to look like you. So they don't want you to enhance your looks, acknowledge you know you're attractive, or even use it to your benefit. Sometimes a person may even make you feel that you think you're better, or tell others you feel you're better than us so that you humble yourself. And once you downplay yourself, they don't have to do any more work because now you're keeping yourself in check. I think we see this in high school students all the time because teenage girls, they often want to fit in somewhere. What can also happen is that others downplay your problems as if being attractive means life's a breeze. But here's the thing, You will never get more validation from others than you give yourself. And pretty is not a privilege if you don't acknowledge it or make use of it to better your life. And I think environment really plays a part of how someone navigates any jealousy because of beauty or pretty privilege. So it's better to move towards being around people who take care of themselves and people who support you, because this is also a safer environment. You'll always be tempted to minimize some aspect of yourself if you're spending time with the wrong people, and you will never become the best version of you if you're dimming your own light. So move in a different environment if you're able to, because there are certain environments that will definitely stunt your growth, be it family, job, or a relationship. A few summers ago, I went with my friend and her husband up to Baltimore because he wanted to visit his family. And at the door, this tall, light-skinned, light-eyed woman comes out. Now afterward, my friend's husband, who also has that same phenotype of light skin and green eyes, was talking about his aunt, and he says how beautiful she was back in the day and how many men were interested in her. But as he talked, the underlying message was that she could have done better, but she stayed in the neighborhood. And it's random conversations like this that have made me realize that one's point of reference really does matter. The woman who's seen her mother, her aunts, her friends working, even struggling despite their beauty, and the woman who grows up with her mom, who's a taken care of housewife, they have two entirely different points of reference. So going back to my previous video on pretty privileged, understand that there are layers to everything and nuance in how any perceived privilege actually benefits the person with said privilege. There are many women with beauty who aren't really benefiting from it because they're playing the cards they've been dealt with wrong for various reasons. And the message I like to get across is that if you're a woman with pretty privilege, try to make more of it. Up the self-care and value the value of your beauty, because staying humble to please others isn't serving you. Being pretty isn't really a privilege if you don't allow it to benefit your life. Until the next video, please share it with a friend so more women like you can enjoy my content, and hit the subscribe button.